I'm on my grind, watch me level up. I use my mind, watch me level up. God on my side, watch me level up. Treat me right now to the level up. They say that knowledge is power. Growing my strength as I read every hour. You knew what I knew, every villain would cow. Make the most of my 24 like I'm Jack Bow. Ain't here for nothing, I'm meant to do something, no doubt. I ain't bluffing, God got me, I'm covered. I can't live abundant my life, yeah, I love it. Let's have a discussion to end all the suffering. Yeah, entrepreneur, that's that boss talk. Legal leaders, we are all stars. Generational wealth is what I'm on. Faith, family, finances, that's all God. Oh Lord, told him that I'm made for this. Oh boy, told him that I'm making rich. Learn from Dr. Bowen and Professor Lynn. Listen close, level up when you catch these chicks. More money, that's a level up, level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. More money, that's a level up. More godly, that's a level up. More knowledge, that's a level up. More power, I just leveled up. Level up, 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 level up. I'm on my grind, watch me level up. I use my mind, watch me level up. God on my side, watch me level up. Treat me right now to the level up.
All right, what a treat, what a treat. We actually have the producer, writer, and performer of our Level Up introductory music as our guest speaker today. I'm so excited to welcome you guys back to our weekly Youth Entrepreneur Camp. We have Mr. Andre Simmons with us, and of course, Dr. JB, and our young entrepreneurs that are here today. So welcome, welcome. We're gonna get right into it. Let's just, Dr. JB, you wanna introduce Andre and give a little background?
Yeah, I can. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Like Professor Lynn said, we have Mr. Andre Simmons, actually the person who created the Level Up song for myself and Professor Lynn. Just a great person overall, genuine person, person that sees the best in building his community. Writer, CEO of his own record company, Superhero Sounds, great music, positive messages within that, and we're just excited to have him. I think just really excited. The individuals that we've brought so far are individuals who care about giving their time back. And so this is something for you all as young entrepreneurs to consider. There's going to be times when people reach out to you and would love for you to come speak to their youth or speak to their adults. And just being able to do that and be able to give back. And that's the way you can give back as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. Just excited to have Dre. I mean, anytime we call Dre, he's always there for us as well. I know sometimes we call him last minute, like we call the other Dre last minute, and they both come regardless of the situation. They're there because they're there to serve. They're there to serve. They're there to help. And I'm just so excited to have him. So let's just welcome Mr. Andre Simmons.
Thank you guys for that warm introduction, Professor Lynn, Dr. Bowen. I'm honored to be here. Like I said, we go way back. Every time you guys call me, I say I'm more than happy to come and impart any type of encouraging words, just my life experience as an entrepreneur. I'm honored to be here. So a little bit about myself. Like you said, like Dr. Bowen said, I do a lot. So, one of the things that I said that I'm proud of and I'm passionate about is my music. But more than that, just more than me being a producer, I'm a rap artist. I go by Dre Elevate. And once again, like that, the whole mindset even behind the name is to elevate your consciousness, elevate your thought when it comes to music. The style of music I do is called superhero hip hop. It's fun, upbeat, energetic music that's focused on being positive. That's where that superhero element really comes in, that to encourage every person to be superhuman within themselves. So that's music is my passion. And, I do production, as you can see, not just with my own music, but for businesses, for podcasts, for corporations. I've made jingles for all the way from ice cream to real estate. So, I love the challenge of taking a brand's product or service and turning that into a relatable sound for today's youth. So in a way that's not corny, so I make it fun and connectable. So, but as I mentioned, like a little bit about myself, I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I live in Aurora, Colorado now with my beautiful wife and two children, ages 2-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. I call them the Cyclone siblings. At this age, man, they are everywhere. They keep into them and nurture their gifts and their passions, even at a young age. Because my children already have discovered what, little glimpses of what it is that they love to do, and we try to nurture that. So that's what I really want to encourage you guys for today, and really want to speak on, is just kind of the things that define who you are and what you become. And the two biggest things is for me was really finding what my purpose is in life. And a lot of times, in life, everybody, especially in today's time, everybody goes through hardship. Everybody goes through some kind of setback. Always like to say, when you experience that hardship, you need to turn your pain into purpose. If you're able to do that, that usually helps you, like your hardest times in life usually helps you discover who you are and what your purpose is on this planet. So it can go one or two ways. You can either let it destroy you or it can let it build you up. So I want you guys to be encouraged and try to find what your purpose is, and really what that is. And what I find is being able to help others. Like and here's the thing, finding my purpose was a journey. Growing up, you can't see it now, I'm tall. Basketball was my thing. And, I had to discover that it maybe not been in the cards for me to be in the NBA. Everybody who's growing up playing basketball as in the youth want to go to the NBA. They want to be the next, whatever era you grew up in, maybe Michael Jordan when it was, then you got LeBron James and Steph Curry even now. It takes hard work. So from the time I was a child all the way up until college, I'm working day in and day out to try to go to the NBA. So things happen. I got to travel when I was in high school, had experiences, had some D1 looks and things like that. I ended up settling at a D2 school, a small D2 school in Northern Kentucky. In my first semester of playing basketball, you got to get your physicals before the season starts. It's some normal routine I always did every year. And when I got that physical, that time, the doctor told me, okay, well, there's something, kind of popping up with your heart. You can't play. So I'm like, what? So, my coach and stuff, we're getting second opinions, going to different doctors, and they're all saying the same thing at this point. They're like, yeah, you're gonna have to get medical red shirt, or you can't play basketball right now. And the really devastating part about it is that I was in Chicago actually for my great a school called Columbia College Chicago. And the school, she was actually an RA there. So at that time, she was studying music production. At that time, I was just dabbling in music. Had some friends that rapped. I maybe made some beats on a video game or something like that. And, but I wasn't really serious about it. But once basketball was taken away from me, I knew I had to focus on something else that I was passionate about. Because once basketball was taken, I'm not going to lie, I was in school. I was just going through the motions. I wasn't passionate about that school. I wasn't passionate about what I was studying. I was only doing what I needed to do to get through the college, get through school. But once basketball was taken, I'm like, I need something else to be passionate about. So literally, she took me to see the school, see the campus. It's right downtown in the South Loop of Chicago. Got to get a full experience. And this is really the college experience that I wanted, being a new city, a new place. Some of my favorite artists came from Chicago at that time. So I'm like, this is it. So I left immediately as soon as I went back home, and I switched and switched schools and registered it at the school in Chicago. And I started studying what audio arts and acoustics was my major, and started music production. But here's the thing: I loved this school because I didn't take classes in just music. Once again, I wanted to expand my mind to whatever possibilities and gifts and talents and things that God blessed me with outside of what I thought was, only thing I had was basketball at the time. I took classes in club DJing. I took classes in not only music production, I took classes in fashion design. I took acting classes. I took classes in a bunch of different things to help build more portfolio, or at least give me a basic knowledge of that I can then use and translate in the real world and use in real time. I made real-time connections in a school and studying something I was passionate about. That's the importance of defining your passion. It's not always a one simple path. So when I started studying music and started getting into the different forms of arts and things that I took school and classes in, I gained, like I said, that experience and knowledge and connection. So now, fast forward to today, I started what I do with music production, being able to help people. And I realized something. With basketball, I only can reach a certain amount of people. I couldn't reach everybody, don't get me wrong. And then you still have to perform in a certain arenas and things like that. It wasn't as free, and I couldn't help as many people as I could just being a basketball star as I could with my music. Music is a universal language that translates. And Dr. Bowen and Professor Lynn tasked me with this. I'm like, man, this is something that I want to be able to show people that there's what they represent with the podcast, and do it in a fun, cool way that's going to be able to connect with people. The beat, you hear it bangs. There's an affirmational lyrics. There's power in that. So whenever you're listening to the song or you're reciting the lyrics or singing along, you're encouraging yourself. So there's power in that. I realized that I had a bigger purpose, and I was able to utilize that when it came to music. And once again, I was able to also utilize those other skill sets that I developed at the University of when I was in Chicago, being able to do acting. I've shot commercials for Bear Aspirin. I've shot commercials with Gary Harris of the Nuggets. I've been able to do things with those gifts. I started a clothing brand, several clothing brands. My newest one is called Opportunity Everywhere. I'm wearing one of the shirts now. You can kind of see, but this brand is meant to have a mentality of opportunity being everywhere and you being able to take advantage of this. So this is discovering your passion discovering your purpose is extremely important. And once you discover that, you also discover your passion. That's my next thing. So that's the second step. Once I've discovered my purpose, I understand that I needed to have something to go for that's going to be a blessing to others, that's going to wake me up every day. That's going to be my passion. Purpose and passion are very similar. Usually when you find your purpose, you find your passion, right? Because the thing is that when you find your purpose, something that you feel that is your life's goal, or what you're here for, what you meant to do, you're usually passionate about it. It's something that you will do for free. No matter if you're getting paid for it or not. This is something that wakes you up in the morning, that drives you, that gives you that fight, that energy, that sets you apart. That you don't matter what kind of hardship or anything that you do go through, because you're passionate about it, you're going to continue to fight. You're going to continue to go forward. Be passionate about something, that whatever you're doing. In school, when you want to go to school in college, study something that you're passionate about. It's going to make it way easier to endure when you do go through those hardships, when you do go through those hard times, those setbacks, those adversities that you will experience in life. I hate to tell you, but unfortunately in life, you're gonna get hit. It's gonna happen. Things are gonna happen in your life out of your control, and some stuff is in your control. But having the ability to self-assess and look at oneself, look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, look, I know I'm not giving my all on certain things. Am I truly passionate about this? So many people aren't passionate about their jobs. Most people, whether even when you go through school, a lot of times you get your degree, sometimes you can't get a job in your industry, but you have bills, you have family, you have life things, you maybe have children. You have to, so most times people get jobs in industries that they're not passionate about, and just, coast by and just doing their job for just so they can make sure they can pay their bills. Now, I try to advise you to be able to find something that's really going to drive you, because if you're passionate about it, you can endure it during the hardships. You're really going to give your all, 120% to it, not just do the bare minimum. And I see that all the time when it comes to just doing the bare minimum. So what I realized is I had multiple gifts and multiple skills and different things. And I understand when it comes to music that it's not that easy just to go all in on your goals and dreams when you have a family to take care of. Like I said, I just have a wife, I have children. They're counting on me as a responsibility. And as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of risk. You have to be able to be risk tolerant, I like to say. So there's going to be, certain levels of things that you have to do as an entrepreneur, and invest in yourself when other people don't see your vision. I always had a vision to where I wanted to go, and whether anybody else saw that or not, I knew that I had to put in the necessary work to make sure I got there. That my vision, I'm the artist with the canvas. Nobody else can paint my brushstrokes. Nobody else can see your vision. Nobody else can endure what you're willing to endure, because you see what you're meant to do. So once you see that and you taste it and you have a passion for it, it's your purpose, you're going to go for it every day. You're going to do everything that's possible and necessary in order to make sure that you get there. So it's not easy though. Like I said, I have to still work to make sure my family is taken care of. So one of the skills I developed, because here's the thing, when you want to increase your income, you gain more knowledge and skill sets that's going to allow you to increase and demand your income, right? Like what you demand and what you need for your life. So the way I did that is because, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. When it comes to my own businesses, I'm a father, husband, but my main thing I do is I'm a salesman. I'm an independent contractor and a salesman. So I do sales for multiple businesses in multiple industries. So the thing is, I sell whatever product or service is in demand, usually that during the season, during that time, or whatever people just want. I have a product or service that I can sell from Fortune 500 companies and CEOs and high-level executives, that I can sell to multi-billion-dollar organizations, all the way down products and services that I can sell to a mom and pop shop, or just a family in a park. Or I can walk to your door. I can walk into your business. I can go to a networking event. I can go anywhere at any time and add some value to people because I have a product or service that I can provide for them. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times you're paid equivalent to the level of problems you're able to solve. I'll say that again. A lot of times you're paid equivalent to the level of problems you're able to solve for people. So I will advise this: find places of business, find not even just places of business, just industry, anything. If you're at your school, find a way to add a service and add some value to the people around you. See something that's a need that people use every day. The simplest things, it becomes multi-million-dollar ideas. If you ever watch Shark Tank, you'll see the sharks, all lined up, and the inventor comes in and gives a little quick pitch of what their product or service is, and they bid on that based off of what they evaluate that company to be able to do. Like that, having that ability, they come in. A lot of times you see the simplest inventions. Like the simplest thing, one of the simplest things I've seen is an invention that somebody made, a little hook that you put on your jacket to hold your glasses, like just a little pocket thing. So the guy, they bet millions for him. Like that's what I'm saying. That guy went on to sell millions. The smallest thing, and all it was a small little bit piece of metal that you hook onto your jacket, hook onto the pocket of your shirt, but it solved the problem. Most people who have glasses, they knew the niche market of what it is. Like they have a problem where they can put their glasses, that they always fall, they always do this. They were able to solve a problem and do something in a market that was a need for people. So if you're able to solve a problem for people, they'll pay you equivalently, either the customer itself or that company. Like where I add value at in so many businesses is that I haven't had to punch a clock traditionally in 7+ years. Like I've cut my teeth doing door-to-door sales. I've sold my CDs on 16th Street Mall. I've sold solar. I sell currently pricing systems to multi-billion-dollar organizations. I sell credit card processing machines to local businesses. I sell ice cream in the park. And I innovated an approach that's different. So one of the biggest things that I've done to be able to sell ice cream in the park is just, I saw a need. I see on a hot day, I go to the park, and I've seen when I was working in Blue Bunny, I would set up corporate accounts, but it's only so much ice cream you can sell in Colorado. I see the old school way that most ice cream gets distributed in the city through ice cream trucks, right? Everybody here, dun, 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 dun. As a kid, that's how you got to run out and catch the ice cream man before the truck drive by, right? So I'm like, there got to be a better way, because it's been plenty of times as a kid I didn't get my money in enough time to go get the ice cream from the ice cream truck. Or even if you're at a park and stuff like that, the ice cream truck's way across the street or across the parking lot, and like I said, he might be gone by the time you get there. So here's the thing, and a lot of times now, especially with inflation, ice cream is astronomical prices. You paying $5, $10 probably for one piece of ice cream at the ice cream truck now. So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, it's an old approach. You still have to, it's almost kind of still a little brick and mortar in a sense, like a food truck or something. Like you got to wait for people to come to you. Instead, I have an ice cream bag. I get dry ice. You can get it from anywhere, local King Supers, and fill it with a bunch of ice cream. And I go to the people. I decided to take the mentality and the approach of that you would have when you see the person yelling popcorn, peanuts at a Rockies game, or if you're in Pepsi Center, or at a Broncos game, the guy going up and down the aisle to the people to sell them their products. They don't have to leave their seat at all. And they have the convenience of providing a product and service directly to the people. I saw the value in that, and I innovated an approach to be able to do that. So I've sold to countless thousands of people over the years and families. I probably have conversations with just being in sales, hundreds of people a week, thousands of people a month. I got tons of reps to see what works, what doesn't work, what markets I should sell in, and what I shouldn't sell in. And I go out and I could outsell an ice cream truck in an hour than what he would sell all day. I have a huge closing percentage, more so because I'm coming to the people and just simply asking for the sale in a pleasant way and providing a convenient product or service for an affordable price. that's the thing as well too, that sets it apart, is that I'm actually not trying to price gouge people. I'm giving you a nice deal coming to you. So filling in the gaps, that's always been one of the things that I was able to help give me a slight advantage in life and in my sales career, is being able to identify what the market is, see what the competition's doing, do trial and error, market research, and actually test things out. I'm not afraid to fail. That's another gem that I want you guys to grasp, is that you can't be afraid to fail. Try things. I just spoke earlier about finding your purpose and your passion. If you don't know what that is, try stuff. The thing is that you won't never know until you actually put in the effort to try something, right? And you got to be willing to fail at it. You got to be willing to be embarrassed. You got to be willing to take any kind of ridicule that you maybe get, but take it as market research. I never lose, I only learn, right? Never lose, only learn. So every experience, when I do something that like, that didn't work. Okay, that's absolutely fine. What the value I got from at least doing that is that, hey, look, I tried it, and now I know that that doesn't work, right? So I go back to the drawing board and make the adjustments. The market's going to tell you what to do next, right? The people will tell you in real time how to sell them on whatever product or service or value you want to add to them with a no. Let me tell you how. So it gets to the point where I'm selling ice cream, and I'll sell that in the park, like I said, just part-time, but it will get towards the fall, right? So you're going from the, hot activities down to, with the fall, when it's right at that borderline, it might be a little chilly that morning, that day, so when it gets a little chilly outside, people don't want to buy ice cream, obviously. But what people would do, they would turn me down and say like, no, if you have some hot chocolate or something, maybe then you got some coffee in that bag, and then laugh. And I'm like, no, I don't have anything like that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, next time, okay, now you're telling me what you want. So all I did was like, okay, I know you're not willing to buy ice cream right now. It's a little too cold. I just went to the store, got some thermostats, boiled some water, got some packets of hot chocolate, made it, but I made it like a mobile Starbucks. I had some cinnamon, some marshmallows. I had the stir straws. I had the individual cups that you can, that you can put on there with the slider on there so you won't burn your hands. And I started selling hot chocolate, like $3 to $5 a cup. And boom, they start buying it. So I put it in the same bag I put the ice cream in. I'm like, I know it's a little too cold for ice cream, but you said you would buy some hot chocolate. Came right back around with some hot chocolate and didn't miss the sale. They told me what they're willing to buy. All I did was try something, get the market research, and then go back and make the adjustments, trial and error. That's what you do in life. A lot of people are too scared to try something because they'll talk themselves out of it before ever even making an attempt. We do that to ourselves all the time. I have to catch myself. I have whole conversations with myself about something and thinking how people are going to respond to it, and then talk myself out of doing something or ever even trying, right? I do it with my wife have to remind me of doing that, because I do it all the time. Because before I might have a whole conversation with myself about something, about what she's going to say, what she's going to do, have a whole pre-argument before it's even an issue. And then I'm coming in there with rebuttaling or with an energy as if she's already said this to me. So I had to catch myself, is that I'm coming with you with this problem with an energy as if you already gave me a negative response, because I'm trying to plan for, all right, if she say this, I got to go here. I ran through a whole scenario of negative stuff in my mind, trying to say like, okay, if she do this, and that ended up projecting into a reality before she ever even said anything. She was like, you already had a whole conversation by yourself. Like, you arguing with yourself at this point. Because I already got I'm not listening at that time. I'm just responding. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not listening to hear what she's saying. I'm just looking for my point to jump in, to get those points in that I ran through in my mind already. And we do that all the time to ourselves and limit ourselves as entrepreneurs, as human beings, as people. So many times, what I say to myself is a lot of times is that and my wife even tells me that she actually kind of coined the phrase. She said, people have no heaven or hell to put you in. Nobody's going to beat you up. Nobody's going to slap. You know what I mean? Like the worst case scenario is that if I don't try, I'm in the same spot as I would if I didn't. Like, is it if I don't try, I'm in the same exact spot if I never attempted. The same exact spot. That's it. So the worst case scenario is that if you try something, you'll just end up right back to where you are. So a lot of times people don't try it and just stay where they are. But what happens a lot of the times is that when I just say, like, hey, look, I have a certain demographic of people that I know who will buy ice cream and who won't. So if I pre-assume and judge that, hey, look, they ain't gonna buy nothing, and then I don't go talk to them, I can miss out on a sale. There's been plenty of times I've been like, all right, well, I'll go talk to this one last family and just see, you know, if they'll want to. I'll talk to this one last business and I'll see. And I'll go to, like I said, the worst thing they can do is tell me no. And then, you know, I'm still in the same spot. I always say that to myself. And I usually, what happens is I'll go there, I ask them for the sale, and then I'm looking to talk to that one person if I'm selling them ice cream. And then that one guy I asked end up having a birthday party of 20 kids. And he was like, oh, hey, kids, you all want ice cream? And then next thing you know, that one sale that I thought maybe if I could get it, I can get an extra $5, ends up turning an extra $55. Because I just decided to go out there and just one last sale. I can't tell you how many times I got business at the end of the day when the business was about to close. I'm like, oh, they probably ain't, you know, trying to talk to nobody. They're about to close and stuff. And I end up going in there and they stay open a little longer to have that conversation because I was able to catch them there and then actually see that they had a problem that I can solve. That's it. Take the initiative to think outside the box and take those extra steps without any fear of what can happen, but also think in a positive way of what can happen. When you talk to people, when you interact with people, like here's the thing I always tell people too, life is sales. If you have a spouse, if you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, and life and stuff like that, you got team, you got to sell yourself. You want to get a job, you have to sell yourself to that person, right? You have to explain to them the benefits of hiring you. You have to explain the benefits of getting in a relationship with you, what you can bring to the table, and you have to sell them on it. A lot of times sales is just the reducing of like conflict, solving a conflict and reducing friction and energy between human beings. So in my years of being able to do sales in life, I picked up a lot of those characteristics that are positive when it comes to interacting with other human beings. The main thing that I do is that I live by the golden rule, and that's treat others as you want to be treated. I don't sell a product or service or do anything underhanded. Like I don't do, even if the business, if I'm representing a company and I'm saying the business tells me that they can do X, Y, Z for that business that I can help, the company that I work for. And if they don't fulfill that, or if they're overcharging people, or they say they're going to do one thing and they do another and it's unethical, I don't work for that company. I have to stake my reputation on the brand that I'm representing, because ultimately I want the people do business with people who they like, know, and trust. I'll say it again. People do business with people who they like, know, and trust. This is why it's so powerful for a lot of businesses, whether you're a real estate agent or if you're a company who does anything, referrals. Referrals are going to be your best introduction. Like, for example, it wouldn't have been the same impact if I just happened to pop up on the Zoom, like, hey guys, you know, without Dr. Bowen and Professor Lynn edifying me and making an introduction, because there are some people that you like, know, and trust who then brought me in as a representation, referred me to you, so I can impart the information to you as well. But you had to understand that they knew the value that I could bring, so they brought me to you. And so then now, like I said, that edification gives it a warm introduction, right? So hopefully I know this is technology. I like to mostly speak in person. I tell people all the time, I'm an in-person sales guy. I make connections with people in person the best. I can do phone calls. Zoom is cool. You can at least see the person, but I like to be able to add value to you in person, because it's a lot harder to tell me no in person when I'm able to establish a human connection. I call it, one thing as well too, is like one of my sales tactics, I call it the 5 cents impact. I know I'm kind of all over the place with it, what I'm talking about, but it's all coming together. But the 5 cents impact is very important. Obviously, we have 5 senses. My thought process is, and what usually works, if I can connect with you and get you to like me with all 5 senses, that it's going to make a stronger, lasting impact where you're going to remember me. You're going to like me, you're going to want to do business with me, and more than likely, I can come in the first time I meet you and close a deal with you, right? So, when it came to, let's say, example, ice cream, like I said, I had to dress nice, right? When I'm talking to businesses, I've set up deals with Hilton hotels, Marriott properties, the Broncos. I've got ice cream in all of DPS high schools and APS high schools. Like I had to go into high level places where I had to look the part, right? So looking good, if I look good, dress nice, that's going to make an impact, right? When I shake your hand, I'm going to give you a nice firm handshake. It's going to feel good, or a hug, or some kind of embrace, right? That feels good. When I'm speaking, I want to speak to you clearly, concisely, informed. I'm going to sound professional, right? So it sounds good, like. Then I always make an impact. I maybe have some cologne or something on, that's going to, so when you meet me and I'm in your presence, I maybe smell good to you. And lastly, when it comes to the ice cream, I always use the law of reciprocity. Law of reciprocity is that you give to get. A lot of times you give something, and just you giving something for free, a lot of times people are willing, they feel an innate, compelled reason to give you something back. A lot of times that's their business. So if I give you a free piece of ice cream, that's leaving a good taste in your mouth. And a lot of times, even if I didn't talk to the decision maker when I went into that business, and I gave ice cream to all the staff while I was there, those staff members are now talking to the person who is the decision maker, the owner of the business, like, hey, you got to get this. You got to talk to this guy. You got to call him. You got to make sure they're hyping me up to that person who makes the decision already. So I hit you with all 5 senses. And that usually gets me the business the first time I go into there. If I can hit all 5 senses, then I know I've made a connection with you on a human level. And then there's a genuineness that I have when it comes to talking with people, and knowing that, hey, look, I'm here for you. I want to do the best for your business. Here's the thing. If we go through an evaluation and I'm suggesting a product or service to you, and it's not going to be of value, I would suggest you not to do it. We have to have a moral code within yourself that that, all right, whatever product or service is not going to fit for everybody. If it's not going to be a good fit, don't always do it just for the money. Because like I said, that you'll get that money, but then you'll have them calling with problems later, right? Or once again, now that value of your representation and your reputation will precede you, because now they may give you a bad review on Google or Yelp or whatever. They may say like, hey, look, when they go to another business or something that you're talking to around there, they might say, hey, don't trust that guy because he did X, Y, and Z to me. So you want to make sure you treat everybody like you want to be treated. You want to make sure you take every step to make sure that everybody that you come in contact with, it's like coming in contact with yourself. It's like, and that's what it is. A lot of times you see a reflection of yourself in the people you talk to, right? So how you think about yourself and how you carry yourself throughout your day is very important. I want to say this, and you and Professor Lynn and Professor Bowen, let me know how I'm doing on time here, because I do have another Zoom meeting at 10. At 11. But let me know on time here if I'm going too long here as well.
No, you're good. You're at a 10:42. So just maybe give you 5 more minutes and then have them ask you questions.
Okay, sounds good. So, so like what I do when it comes to interacting with people, like I said, it's a reflection of yourself. You don't know a lot of times, like if you have certain insecurities or thought processes, biases, beliefs that you have within yourself, you're going to put that on other people. So when you see and kind of come in contact with other people, it's a reflection of what you think about yourself or those people. So I choose and make it a point to practice seeing the best in people. Dr. Bowen said that, like in the introduction, I always trust and see that people are going to do the best and be the best of who they are, and I try to believe that they have the same moral code that I have. And a lot of times, even if they're biased, like here's the thing, we're in a world that honestly racism still exists. I'm a young Black male and I do a lot of business, high level business with high level executives. These are, older white males or females that maybe they're not used to seeing somebody who looked like me talk to them about high ticket items or, just like I said, level of business. Same thing, I do sales for a tree and landscaping company. And sometimes I pop up on people's houses and it's usually the elderly people who can't, cut the trees and stuff. So once again, they're not always expecting me the first thing at the door. The biggest thing that I do to diffuse anything, even when I was doing door-to-door sales, is I come and greet you with a huge smile. I'm 6'5". I can be very intimidating if I'm standing over you and stuff like that, but people feel a warmness when I smile genuinely. Like I smile with my eyes. Some people just do the, tight lip, keep going. That's not going to do it. I see a genuine smile and greet you as if I've known you for years. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing today? Enthusiasm is contagious. You can go and control a room that you go into. It can be a dead party. It can be just people just not really talking and doing that. But you come in with the energy. Hey, how's it going? How everybody doing? You shaking hands, saying, hey, how's it going to everybody? Looking everybody in the eye, letting them know that they exist. You see them as a human being, as a person. That human interaction is valuable. Like I can't tell you how many times I just go places and somebody might tell me, man, you really made my day because I just acknowledged them as a human being. Like the greeter or the person who checked your receipts at Walmart. I had a guy tell me the other day, he was like, man, I'm from Kenya. You look like my brother or something from Kenya. Are you from Kenya? I'm like, no, I'm not from Kenya, but we're melanated beings. We could be still, related to the line, and I just greeted him and talked with him for a second on my way out. And by the end of the interaction, he was just like, man, I'm so glad I met you today, man. Like, here's the thing. Mental health is a big thing today. You never know what somebody may be going through. And especially with isolation, with quarantine, everything like that. And so many people are now not, like I said, we're on Zoom right now. This is the only kind of human interaction some people have with people. So this is very important when you talking to people, that I try to show them love. I try to show them compassion. I try to show them that I see you as a human being. I see you as a God being, like you're a part of God's creation as I am. We're all here for a reason. We all have a purpose. So my purpose today could have been to interact with you, and that helped transform your life to then go and transform that energy to somebody else. Because that person, you never know, that interaction that I had with that person now transformed their thought process and the way they think about others. And now they're going to be a blessing to somebody else. You never know, so that's why you don't want to treat people negatively either, because what you give out, you get back in life. It's about the energy that you give. Energy is transferred at all times. They always said when you were in school that energy is never created or destroyed, it's only transferred, right? That's it. Life is a transfer of energy. If you're able to transfer positive energy to people, that has a ripple effect that then can affect your life in a positive way, because you call it karma or whatever the case may be. There is a law of attraction. If you never heard of The Secret, go look that up. Either go read the book or go see the movie. They maybe you still have it on Netflix. If not, it's on YouTube. The Secret. If you never heard of the law of attraction, that was one of the things that transformed my life, is that I realized that everything's energy, everything's a vibration. Your thoughts, the words you speak has power. So we have to watch what we think about, what we say, when we focus our thoughts on. Understand your purpose, your passion, your power and you can accomplish anything that you put forth in life. It's going to take, even if it takes time, you know you can endure, and you know you can live and learn from every lesson, not lose. You learn from every lesson and become a better person from doing it and being becoming who you truly are. But yeah, that's about what I have. I'll stop it there. I appreciate you guys' time. I'll leave this open for questions. If you guys have anything for me, I would love to be able to help in any kind of way.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you for those words of wisdom. Thank you for those words of life. I think, like you said, words create life. The things you say and how you say it, and just having that posture, how you carry yourself, the mindset. And so I thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and open it for our students to ask you some questions. So Jalen.
I was wondering, like, what was your motivation? Like, was there ever a time where you just wanted to give up? And like, what did you do to like motivate yourself?
Absolutely. There's definitely been times that I wanted to give up. I'll Professor Bowen and Professor and Lynn know this about me. I'll be transparent. One of the biggest hardships, like I told you before, of like me having that heart condition with basketball was one. The biggest thing I ever had to experience in life was the loss of my firstborn son. So about 5 years ago, I lost my firstborn son, Sire, at 13 months. This is obviously pre-pandemic, but he caught an upper respiratory infection, passed in my arms within 12 hours of him getting sick, like suddenly. We were getting ready to go to the hospital. We didn't make it. And that was like a defining moment in my life. That's like that for me and my wife. Like I said, most marriages are destroyed because of stuff like that. So that was like one of the biggest hardships I experienced. But what it is, once again, I go back, and how I overcame this was, once again, I spoke on turning your pain into purpose. So because of that, what we did is that we didn't want just a traditional sad, funeral service or anything like that. We did a celebration for him. It was around Christmas time when we lost him. We did a toy drive at a local Salvation Army, helped the community. The news came out. We had like pizza and face painting and stuff like that for other kids there. And, we really, tried to bless the community in his name, because what he always did was spread joy. So we wanted to continue that. So we turned that pain into purpose. So that really helped drive me when we were able to be a blessing to others. And I think God rewarded us, because less than a year later, we have the son that we have now. His name's Messiah. Looks, sounds, plays, acts just like the son we lost. The biggest blessing that we didn't even have to, like, they're down to the same zodiac sign. We didn't even have to spend our son who passed birthday without another son in our arms, So it was like, we didn't understand it at the time, but we sought answers everywhere. And I knew that this couldn't be for nothing. So I had to make it worth something. So being able to endure those hardships is going to help you, because now my mentality is that I have no fear in life. I ain't gonna say no fear, but I have a lot less fears when I've already endured the hardest thing that most people can endure in their life. Like losing a child is probably number one for most people, especially parents. You don't, like I said, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So if I can endure that, somebody telling me no, or me failing at something, or getting rejected, or even like, there's nothing to me. So it made me. So I say, don't shy away from when you go through those hardships, find a way to turn that pain into purpose and move forward. But that was probably one of the hardest things I had to go through and had to overcome.
That's such a great question. Yeah. And such a heartfelt response, to something that, like you said, is probably like a parent's worst nightmare. So bless you guys for being able to turn that around. And I would say, I have a question for you.
For sure.
So what if everybody was able to receive,
your services, what kind of impact do you think that would have? In other words, like if everyone said yes, what would be the end game?
For any product or service I sell, or specifically music?
Yeah, specifically me. You can pick whichever one. So you tell me.
For sure. I'll say with music, because that'll have the largest impact across the board. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that it would really transform people's mentality. Like I said, that's what the whole, even my name used to be Dre Future. I switched it to Dre Elevate because I wanted a name that had, when you think about it, it elevates your thoughts. It relates to the brand and the message that I want to convey. I think if everybody received my music, it would still be relatable. I still talk about a lot of stuff that I've been through. I grew up in the inner city. I had my parents were divorced. My dad was in my life and stuff like that, but I always make the joke my mom was a great father figure. Like she she was there and did, made sure I grew up in a house full of sisters, or, 2 sisters, and and that didn't didn't make me soft. So I think if everybody had my music, it will make a positive impact. They would, like I said, you're going to do better and be better from listening to it. The newest project I'm working on is called Grind Mode. The whole album is from start to finish, the songs similar to the Level Up. It's affirmational music for you to, as an entrepreneur, if you're in sports, if you're a father, if you're a dad, if you're doing anything, it's going to motivate you to go out there and get it. It's going to motivate you to understand that it takes time. It's kind of telling my story of my life experiences that I have, and as I continue to level up, because I'm nowhere near where I finally see myself. So if I can reach millions and millions of people, ultimately, I don't care about the fame. I want the impact and also the financial stability and safety that provides for my family and leaving a legacy. I realize one thing as well, too, being an artist, that I would rather be in the background as a producer, because they make a lot more money than the artists that you see in the foreground. A lot of times the artists that you see, they're getting advanced money, which is just a bank loan, and then they're spending it mostly just to try to look like they're rich and look like they're balling and doing all that stuff, when the executives in the background are making all the money. There's a lot more longevity. It's a lot more time I can spend with my family just doing production, and not have to tour and everything like that. But I can't deny that I have a gift and a calling when it comes to being on stage and speaking and performing. So as long as God allowed me to do that, like I said, I can make an impact in person. But ultimately, I hope to just try to transform people's minds, unlock their minds in a positive way to help them be better and do better from listening to my music.
Yeah, thank you, Dre. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, appreciate it.
Just really quick, I'm just proud of you, man. We've come a long way together. We've known each other personally. My fiance, his wife are best friends, and so we've played basketball together, everything. And I just wanted to say that I'm proud of is just how you're an overcomer. I know that you mentioned your son, losing your son, but also you lost your sister not too long ago as well. And I just see you traveling, doing music, performing with celebrities like Joel Santana, just different individuals, man. And I think that's something that's encouraging for our youth and for others to see. And I just wanted to say, what keeps you motivated? Even though you had a tough time of losing loved ones to now, what is just key of what's your motivation?
It can't be all for nothing, right? That's the biggest thing. If you let those hardships and things like that define you, it's gonna be all for nothing. I can't let my son's name die. I don't, even with my sister. Now it makes me hungrier. Like, I already got a family to take care of, but going back home, I see the conditions, honestly, that my family's living in back there. My sister's kids aren't in the best of circumstances without their mom. She was, to be honest, she had a husband, but she was handling most of the stuff in the house. And not to speak on him or anything like that, but I know that the kids need to see something better. They don't really, I've been living out of the state, you know, since they were born, for the most part, they know me, and I've been back in town and stuff like that, but they don't really know me, and they don't have the best influences around them. They don't have the best examples around them for what success looks like. And like I said, not that I'm like the most successful person, but I'm ambitious. I'm never going to be, when you talk to me, you ain't seen me in a long time or seen me in years, and people, you know, you talk to them, they be like, man, how you been and stuff. You know, some, you talk to people, they be like, oh man, just another day. I'm just trying to get by. I'm just, no. You speak, once again, there's power in words that you speak. I'm going to be like, hey, look, I'm working on this. I've been here. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. What helps me, what's my therapy is throwing myself into my work. Basketball is also a big part of that. I play basketball once a week at Central High School. They open the gym, and when I'm on the court, I don't think about anything. I'm just playing the game and enjoying myself. So there's value and purpose and power in that, and me being able to, you know, be able to have that time to just kind of pull away, but then also throwing myself into my work to make it worth something now. So now I'm working every day, not only to take care of my family, but figure out a way to provide a better life for my sister's children, because I don't want them to now have a downward spiral because they went through a traumatic experience and didn't have the level of information or exposure to know how to channel that energy. This is a defining moment. One of her daughters, 13, she's old enough to know what happened, but also old enough to, you know, be influenced, or young enough to be influenced by her surroundings. So this is a moment that can go either way, and I just want to be able to be there to help motivate them, to show them a better way, and show people how you can endure hardship and do something with it.
Oh no, thank you, Dre. I know you're down to like a minute. Are you able to take one more question, or?
I think I can take one more.
Okay.
I told them I was going to be speaking, so.
Okay, great. Let's have our students want to ask one more question.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and ask. How do you define success? We'll end with that.
It's very subjective. You know, success is accomplishing the goals you set for yourself, and that's what I'll say. You know, there's people who are multimillionaires who are depressed, unhappy, you know, committing suicide, stuff like that. So it's not money. But being able to have options, in my level, that's what I think is success. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, how I want to. And before I got into sales, I worked like a job that was almost like a slave job. I worked at a place called Sunset Stone, and it was a big factory where you make, on the assembly line, you make rocks. That's literally what you make. There's molds and stuff like that of the rocks that you see that they put on, like on the outside of buildings and stuff like that, bricks and all that stuff like that. All of that is molded into in a factory. Didn't know that, but this is like a slave job. I'm talking like, you know, dust particles everywhere. You're breathing in dirt all day. You're filthy. You're, like I said, you have no control over. You have to keep the line going, because if you stop, the rest of the whole line stops. Then that slows down your whole day, and then 8-hour day can turn into a 12-hour day. Like, so that was like, I'm like, man, I can't do this forever. There was like a second chance job. Most of the people there were convicts, things like that. I'm like, even the conversations and the mentalities of the people there, I'm like, I can't be here forever. And so I knew that I needed to put myself in a position. And when I discovered sales and started doing sales, I discovered that a lot of times you put in what you get out. So most of my jobs were up until recently, before I started with this Vendavo company. And now it's an at-home position where I at least get a salary and things like that. But most of my sales career was eat what you kill. And if I wanted my family and my bills to be taken care of, I had to go out there and hunt. So that's what actually challenged me to find those gaps in Blue Bunny ice cream and get ice cream in places where they don't. Challenge me to go sell here in places and have conversations that I normally wouldn't, because I had to figure out a new way, and I had to see what the competition is doing and figure out a way to do something different to help me stand out, to get consistent sales. in whatever line of work I do. But one thing that I also do is that when I do interview for positions, I'm technically interviewing the company instead of them interviewing me. I get headhunted a lot of times. Most of my sales jobs come from me selling them something. And they realize I'm a good salesman. They be like, hey, you should come sell for me because you already sold. I already know you're a good salesman because you sold me on something that like out of nowhere. So success is being able to control your time. I control my time, even with this salary position. Like I said, I work from home. I went to Cincinnati. I was able to just bring my laptop and work. I didn't have to take time off of work. I didn't have to ask anybody, hey, can I get some time off? Or hey, I didn't have to talk to anybody. I just able to do what I want to, as long as I'm able to afford it. But I also have a level of competence to understand that I need to make sure everything's taken care of to do certain things, because when I move, it affects the entire family. So being able to be successful is being able to be here for my children, to not miss those moments in time. I'm not gonna lie. When I was working with Sire during his like short 13-month, he was here. I was working a job. I was working an hourly position. I would be gone sometimes 10, 12 hours a day. I missed a lot of those little bitty moments that I wish I can get back. You know, that I wasn't home for because I was working so many hours then. That was a defining moment as well too, that I know with my kids now, I want to be there for every moment. I want them to say, daddy. I want them to, you know, and know that I'm here. I want my wife to feel loved and have our time as well too, because that's very important when you have children, that your life kind of be consumed by the children. You have to take time to have a successful marriage as well too. And I follow Eric Thomas, if you know him, and I follow their podcast. And there's one of the guys on there, 9 to 5 Millionaire. He speaks on the 5 pillars. His 5 pillars is faith, family, fitness, finances, and I want to say faith, family, finances, fitness, and I forget what the 5th one is, but it's all of these pillars are all what determine, you know, who you are as a man and what you do. I think the last one's like, you know, fatherhood or something like that. But all of those different pillars, you have to make sure you're equally putting time towards, because obviously as a father, you want to make sure, you know, you have faith, strong family in God. Family is very important. You have to have family time. Finances is doing what you need to, whether working, grinding, investing. You know, fitness is your health. You got to make sure all of these things, because if you weigh in one, it can affect the other. So it's just trying to successful as having a balance of all of these things and being able to have the time freedom and the financial freedom to have options. And I'll leave you with one thing too. This was the defining thing that I recently heard on a podcast, is that this was a prominent guy on the podcast, right? He makes good money, and he's a millionaire, and he was looking for homes in real estate. And he went and he said, you know, he was looking, other celebrities and other wealthy people were looking at the same house, went to the house, he loved it, you know, liked it. The realtor talked to the realtor. He was like, okay, this is nice. You know, this is probably going to be a pretty penny. You know, I got a budget. What is this going to cost? You know, long story short, it was out of his budget, right? He was like, whoa, hold on. What, like, really? Like, and the realtor didn't be like, oh no, well, I'll just show you some other houses and nothing like that. No, the realtor was like, well, if this is out of your budget, it sounds like to me you just need to work harder. That was a sting right there, right? It could be, some people can take it as disrespectful and stuff like that, but I was like, that hit me. And it hit the guy on the podcast too, because Wes White told the story, was that if you don't have what you want to have in life, it's because you ain't working hard enough to get it. Very simple. Like, man, because what you put in life, you get out. If you don't have it, you just need to work harder to get it. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go. Like, I see myself in the mansion. I see this car. I want my family have financial freedom. I understand there's levels to this, and I make a plan. But I'm like, I got to work harder, because I want to not. I don't want this to sting. I don't want to have to budget for certain stuff. I just want to be able to do it and go. So, yeah, that's a long answer, but that's what success is to me, man. Having freedom for the choices to do what you know that you want to do, and take care of the family, take care of yourself and your family.
And thank you so much, Andre, man. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you guys, man. I'm honored. Like I said, whenever you guys need anything, I'm always here. Happy to be a part. This is like a mastermind as well too. It's rare that we even have these type of conversations. You being Black gentlemen, bringing me on and bringing entrepreneurs and creating programs and services to impart this into others is extremely valuable. So you guys are doing amazing work. Keep it up. Like I said, I'm just happy to be a part of it and happy to be in the conversation. So thank you guys.
Thank you. And I also sent you an email. So please check that out.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. You have a great rest of the week, man.
All right. You as well. Thanks so much, guys.